over my shoulder there. Yeah, there she is right there on Live View 1. That is our Jessica Formoso. She is out on the picket line for a third straight day. The standoff between New York City hospitals and striking nurses escalating today at Mount Sinai. 3 nurses fired right before this walkout started. They said it was unjustifiably fired. Jessica, what are you hearing out there?
Dan, so as you can see behind me, these nurses are back on the picket line, not just behind me here, but across the street too. There is a big crowd. So let me just step out of the way before we talk about the tension here so you guys can see the crowd. We are on day 3 of the largest nurses strike in the city history. The last one was 3 years ago. It lasted 3 days, and this one seems like it won't last 3 days because today is day 3, and here we are at a standstill. We do not know when these nurses will return to the bargaining table, but I can tell you this, tensions are high here between the nurses and hospital management, specifically management from Mount Sinai. The Nurses Association, the Nurses Union, allegedly telling us that these nurses were fired for no reason, for no apparent reason. They are accusing management of union busting. So this is what they're saying. They're saying that allegedly Mount Sinai fired these 3 labor and delivery nurses just hours before they went on strike on Sunday. The nurses say this is nothing more than an intimidation tactic, but hospital officials say they actually have security camera footage that proves otherwise. They provided us with this statement. I want to read it to you so you can know what exactly went down that they said happened here. Mount Sinai telling Fox 5, we terminated 3 nurses last week for interfering with patient safety by deliberately sabotaging our emergency preparedness drills ahead of the strike, including hiding supplies from agency nurses who were training so that they were prepared to help Mount Sinai continue to deliver patient care. Now, the nurses are saying a different story. They said they were not involved in anything that the hospital is saying. Take a listen what they have to say.
Hi everyone, my name is Marina.
My name's Liliana.
And we're both nurses on labor and delivery at the Mount Sinai Hospital. We've both been here for 3 years. We both love the work that we do and all the mothers we deliver, and we bring life into this world. Just hours before we were meant to join our fellow nurses on the strike line, we were both fired in pure act of intimidation.
It was Mount Sinai's cruel attempt to stop us from joining the strike line and to make an example of us to our fellow nurses, but we are not scared. We will continue to fight. We are also both new moms returning to work from maternity leave. We returned to work just 6 months ago as new moms with babies that depend on our health insurance. The fight to protect our healthcare coverage is extremely important to us, and so the stakes for this strike are high.
On the night before our strike began, while our bargaining committee was still in negotiations, we were contacted and terminated via voicemail. Would you guys like to hear it?
Yes.
Sure.
Hi Liliana, this is Jasenia Cremona calling from Mount Sinai Hospital. I called and left you a voicemail and texted you earlier this afternoon. I told you that we needed to meet with you and your delegate today. Unfortunately, you did not respond to any of my messages or reach out to me in any way. So I do have to terminate you. We will mail you the termination notice via certified mail. I am really, really, really sorry. I was hoping to get to speak with you, but unfortunately, effective immediately, your employment at Mount Sinai Hospital is terminated. Bye.
Our unit has already experienced aggressive union busting, which our colleagues have already shared. Over the weekend, we were unfairly disciplined by management, who falsely accused us of interfering with the work of their expensive temporary travel nurse brought to replace us, and we were coerced in training.
Although management brought in these temporary travel nurses to undermine our union power, our patients are always our top priority, and we would never compromise patient safety. We will not be bullied by Mount Sinai, and we'll do everything we can to contest our unjust firings. But Mount Sinai must be held accountable. They cannot continue to discipline and punish nurses who speak out about patient safety and nurse safety.
Mount Sinai needs to return to the bargaining table and start taking patient care safely just as seriously as we do. Thank you.
All right, so that was the lengthy statement by those two nurses. You can hear they played that voicemail, supposed to be from some of the hospital officials. Now, Mount Sinai, as you mentioned, Jessica, sort of asserts the nurses were fired for interfering with patient safety, allegedly disrupting emergency preparation drills. So essentially, they have these traveling nurses who come in as backup to make sure that their patient care can remain at the staffing levels that they need while the normal nurses go on strike. And the accusation then is that these women were sabotaging that part of the operation, and they've come out and they're strongly denying it. Does that pretty much sum it up?
Yep, that's exactly correct. And we have to note that Mount Sinai has brought in about 1,400 of those traveling nurses. One thing to mention, Dan, is that the union says that before you get terminated, there are procedures in place. You can't just fire someone, and the union is claiming this morning that those procedures were not followed. Now, before I let you go, Dan, I have a nurse here, Carol, who's been with Mount Sinai for over 30 years. Carol, I want to ask you, where do things stand? Has the union reached out to you? We know that yesterday we were told that things are at a standstill. They have not gone back to the bargaining table.
So things are still at a standstill. They are not coming to the negotiating table. And here's the thing. Hochul, the governor, stated it was a state of emergency. And she's given funds from FEMA to the CEOs of Mount Sinai. We need the funds. We need to have the rise. We need to have our benefits to stay the same. The emergency is caused by them, not by us. We are at the table every day, and they will not come to the table. And this is causing heartache for the patients and for the community.
How is the situation inside Mount Sinai telling us that 20% of your nurses went back into work? Is that true? Have some of your nurses gone back into work?
I am not aware of that. There are some nurses who crossed the picket line, and that's unfortunate. But most of the nurses in there are travel nurses who are getting paid $8,000 a week, who have never worked in Mount Sinai before, don't know how to interact with doctors and phone numbers and labs and machines. So I feel sorry for the patients.
Those allegations that we heard yesterday from both Mount Sinai and your union that 3 of your nurses got fired, 3 of your colleagues, I should say, got fired. Yeah. Mount Sinai saying that they were sabotaging the preparedness of these traveling nurses. What's the rumor in the hallways? What do you know?
So the rumor, as far as I know, is that the nurses in that unit prepare a package when they're having an admission. So you have certain things you need when that mother comes in to have an admission. They were doing that, and the travel nurses saw them doing that and assumed that they were putting that stuff away, which is not true. They were also accused of stealing it. They never took it out of the hospital. This is just scare tactics to frighten younger nurses in the hospital, and it will not work. It's not going to work.
So how long do you think you'll be out here? We know last time it was 3 days. Today's day 3, and I see you are still at the picket line.
As long as it takes. We are here. We will hold the line. We're here until they come to the table and start negotiating.
So is this also about money? Do you want to...
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with money. It's to do with patient safety. There's nurses in there that don't even know how to work some of the IV pumps. This is about patient safety and about Mount Sinai wanting to roll back what we got in 2023, what we fought for then. They want to roll that back. They don't want to be accountable for staffing. We want to be accountable for staffing to help our patients have a safe environment.
Now, I know this is not Mount Sinai, but New York Presbyterian telling us that with their nurses, they're willing to bargain. They said, we're talking about that the union is talking about a 25% increase. They're saying that is over like $2 billion in 3 years. They can't do that. It's unrealistic. Are those numbers, she's shaking her head, those numbers not correct?
Numbers don't lie. Mount Sinai, show the record. If you're not lying, show the record. That's all we're asking for. We're not asking for raise. We're asking for safety against gun violence. We're asking for better care. We're asking for patient ratio that we won the last strike in 2023. Give us those three back. We're not asking us for increase of salary. Instead of the governor to declare a state of emergency when there is no emergency. Support the nurses, respect for New Yorkers.
Right. Thank you, ladies, so much. Hopefully this gets resolved pretty soon, but it seems like you guys are going to hold your ground because it seems like there is tension now between the nurses and the management inside.
There's been tension since the very beginning. There was tension when we won in 2023. Believe you me, it's just got more and more higher as we came towards us.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Dan, of course. Dan, as you can hear, the tension, there are tensions and they're running high here. These nurses not going to give up. They will remain here as long as they have to. And you heard it from them. They're saying that management and them just keep going back. It's a lot of pointing the finger at this point. Somebody's saying something, the other person is saying something. We're just hoping that they can get to the bargaining table at some point because, again, in the middle of all this, we have to remember are the patients. They're now in the middle of this negotiation. Dan?
All right, Jessica, thank you very much. It seems like that middle ground is as far away as it's been in a long time. Those hospital leaders, of course, argue that increasing staffing and benefits at the levels demanded would be financially unsustainable. So, Jessica, we appreciate your reporting, and we'll check back in with you soon, and we may be out there for day 4. We'll see.